Hey YouTube, 360 electricians, welcome back. In this video, I am going to address, how should I say it? A question that I get all the time from you electricians out there. Listen, first of all, if you know me and you know this channel, you know that I have a passion to help you level up as an electrician and most of all, as an electrical contractor. So the number one, I wouldn't say hate comment or bashing, I don't know what to call it, but the negative comment I get is, you charge what? How can you justify that? You are ripping your customers off, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to argue with you that I am successful not by my own doing, but by other people who have taught me things, right? So I want to give you a little bit of a story, just one little story that is going to help you understand and hopefully help you understanding how I justify what we charge, why we need to charge it, and to let you know that the only way you're going to stay in business and continue to be successful, to reach the goals you want to reach, to feed your family, put your kids through college, and build a business is to charge the correct way. It is the number one question I get in all my coaching sessions. And by the way, if you don't know, I do lots of one-on-one coaching, all right? And I've got plenty of videos on the website about that. I want you guys to go check it out. If you need help in anything that I'm talking to you about now, or opening your business, starting it, running it, hiring employees, you have come to the right place. There's nobody on YouTube doing this for you. Click the link below, do some coaching. But let's get back to the point of this. How do I justify charging what I charge, and how you should think on why you should be charging more, why charging pricing that you might think is too high psychologically in your head is not the same as what the customer's thinking. Are you ready? Now, little side note, this is not my story. I don't know at this very second that I'm recording this. I just got out of a coaching session, so I'm giving you this. Don't sign off, by the way. If you're bored right now, just hang tight because there's a big lesson to be learned. And if you get something out of this video, hit the like. Okay, we need that algorithm. Smash subscribe because, as I said, no electrician is giving you the secrets of the trade like I am. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've been blessed, and I want you to be blessed too. Okay, are you ready? So here's the way the story goes. There was a nuclear power plant. And if you've heard this, then, hey, click to the end, smash like, subscribe, whatever the case. If you haven't heard the story, you need to hear it. There's a nuclear power plant. It generates $2 million a day in selling electrical revenue to its customers. And one day, the plant shuts down 80% of its production. 80% of the plant shuts down, a bunch of lights turn on, and they get their engineers in the plant to start looking at it because they're losing millions of dollars a day. So they're losing 80% of business every single day. They're losing $1.6 million a day in electrical revenue because their plant shut down. So all their engineers go out and they start looking at the plant. They start looking at all the equipment. They start looking at this. They start looking at that. They look at the warning signs. They all come back to the plant manager and say, hey, we have no idea what's wrong or how to get the power back on. So the plant manager calls a couple of people and they say, hey, look, there's this guy in New York, and this plant happens to be on the West Coast. They say there's this guy in the East Coast. He is the number one nuclear power plant engineer, technician, whoever you want to call it, in the world. We need to give him a call because we can't figure this out. Now, I want to pause for 1 second. The nuclear power plant is your customer. The engineers in there are maybe the people living there, the wife, the family member. And the superintendent of the plant is the husband, the wife, the boss, whoever makes the decisions. So the superintendent calls the engineer up in New York and says, hey, look, we've got a problem. We have the plant that's shut down. What do we need to do to get you out here? And they go, no problem. You know what? I'll be out there. I'll fly out, take the next red eye out, and I'll be there first thing in the morning, and we'll take a look. And he goes, great, get out here as fast as you can. That's the customer calling you for a service call. That's the customer calling you and saying that's power out. So the guy gets there, he puts on a white robe, he takes a black Sharpie, he puts it in his pocket, and he starts going into the plant. And all the engineers are following him, and he's going over there, and he's tapping this, and he's checking that, and he's doing this, and he's looking at that, and he's taking some readings. Finally, he goes to some compressor machine or something like that, and there's a little valve on there that's controlled, and he takes his little Sharpie, he taps it. When he taps on that valve, he looks at it, and he writes a big black X with his Sharpie. He goes back to the superintendent, and he says, I put an X on the part that needs to go bad, replace that part, your plant will be back up 100%, and you'll be good to go. He takes off his robe, puts it back on the thing, goes back to the next red eye, flies back to New York, only put in about 2.5 hours work on the plant. The plant superintendent manager goes to the guy engineers and go, quick, let's get that part replaced. And they replace that valve, and sure enough, boom, power plant's up at 100%. Everything's going good, and guess what? 30 days later, they get a letter in the mail, and it's a bill from the engineer from the East Coast. He opens up the bill, and it's a $200,000 bill. And the plant engineer looks at it and goes, is this guy crazy? He was here for 2.5 hours. All he did was put a black X on top of a valve, and he's charging me $200,000? And he calls up the engineer and he goes, hey, engineer, how are you? I'm the plant manager from the West Coast. He goes, look, I got your bill, and, I just wanted to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. And the engineer goes to him and he goes, yeah, absolutely. He goes, you've got the right price, $200,000. And he goes, okay, well, you know what? Can you give me a breakdown of what you're charging me for $200,000? And he goes, absolutely. I'll email it right out to you as soon as we hang up. And the plant manager goes, I would like to see what the hell this guy's going to send me. So sure enough, within 3 minutes, he gets an email, and it's a new bill sent out from his QuickBooks. And it says, hey, I hate to interrupt the story. I hope you're enjoying it. But hey, if you're getting something out of this video, can you smash that like button and subscribe to the 360 Electrician channel? Love you guys. Let's get right back into the story. Marking a black X on the bad valve, $1. Knowing which valve to write the black X on, $199,099. And that is his breakdown. Do you get the moral of the story? The perceived value, think about it. He thought that $200,000 is an outrageous amount. You would probably think 2.5 hours, $200,000 is an outrageous amount. The plant was losing $1.6 million a day. Now, is there value in this guy coming out in 2.5 hours, getting you back up and running? Heck yeah, there is. That superintendent, after he laughed, saw the value, he wrote that check and sent it to the guy. That is justification, my friend. You are a professional. You did, at least if you're a journeyman, 4 years of training, 4 years of your time. You are a professional just like any other trade. If the customer could fix it, he'd fix it himself, but he can't. He called you. If you do not put some kind of value that's over and above your means of living and just getting a paycheck to paycheck, go work for your old boss again. Why do the thing by yourself? Why do this whole thing by yourself and take the legal, the liability, and all the BS that comes with it? No. If you think you're worth 100, you're worth 150 because you are a professional, you have expenses, you are running a business, you're growing a business, and you want to live a better life. And that's it. I know I'm going to get some comments below that say, ah, ha, ha, whatever the case may be. That's what I do. I love my life. I love the fact that I have time to coach you guys and just to be with you guys and make these videos. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I super appreciate you members that have signed up and joined this page to give me value. And you know what? That's it. I'm rambling. End of story. Be the nuclear power plant engineer. Mark those black X's, but charge what you're worth. And we will see you on the next one.